Howdy to all my fellow readers, poetry buffs, cowboy aficionados. It is Thursday. It's Poetry Thursday. It's Cowboy Poetry Thursday. And that's what we'll cover in this episode of Ghost Readers in the Sky. Today I have two more by Joel Nelson. One of these poems comes from this anthology of the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering. And I'm going to read the biography of Joel Nelson as provided in this book. At age 6, Joel Nelson helped out on a cattle drive to the railroad, and he's been a cowboy ever since. He earned his bachelor's in forestry and range management, built custom saddles. For more than 30 years, he made his living working on cow outfits in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Hawaii. Respected as a cowboy's cowboy, Nelson knows the work and handles horses and cattle with a gentleness of spirit. He helped found the Texas Cowboy Poetry Gathering and in 2009 received a National Endowment for the Arts National Heritage Fellowship. So here we have it, two more poems by Joel Nelson. The Prized Possession by Joel Nelson. What's the last thing you would part with? I asked a cowboy pal, expecting him to answer, why, that hoss in yon corral. Or maybe that new saddle which he'd saved for years to get. Or possibly his granddad's spurs, or that silver inlaid bit, or the fancy rawhide work hanging in his saddle shed, or possibly his roping skill, or that pretty girl he'd wed. 100 things went through my mind, from boots to cold hard cash, but the thing he promptly answered was this handlebar mustache. Took 35 long years, you see, to finally get her growed. And even though it's vain, I like my old mustachio. In his ancient quest, Diogenes, with lantern in his hand, would have found his representative if he'd stumbled on this man. And there's hundreds out there like him on the Western cattle range, who cultivate their facial hair and ain't about to change. Now the dang things are a nuisance. When winter time moves in and you've got two big long chunks of ice hanging way down past your chin. In a while, your cold red nose will start to run and dribble. And before you get your mittens off, that freezes in the middle. Boy, your napkin gets a workout when the menu's soup or stew. And it sometimes gets discolored from tobacco if you chew. There's the slow recovery period when she's singed by brandon fire, or when wife with maddened vice-like grip should demonstrate her ire. Or you're maybe shoeing horses, and this bronc sets up a clamor, and a handlebar gets hung twixt claws of the downstroke of your hammer. There's the, ooh, that tickles, honey, when the ends get nice and long. and you have to readapt your style of talking on the phone. Oh, the trials and tribulations of the man with the mustache are just the dues he has to pay to possess a bit more dash. To receive the looks of wonder and awe from the kids with peach fuzz lip, and the fascinated looks from babes who reach and grab a hold of it. But they say it's really worth it, and you feel you've done come far when you see that dashing buckaroo in the mirror behind the bar. Oh, sure, you'll hear some whispers, and those out of range make cracks, but just straighten up, take out the tube, and add a little wax. Rhymesman, Reinsman by Joel Nelson for Buck Ramsey. And though there came a time when he no longer could saddle with crew on still frosty mornings, there also came a time when he could ride with abandon into places inaccessible to even the most well-mounted and daring of riders, through valleys of eloquence and among the lofty crags of heightened language. Returning from his rides in the wilderness of words with tales which would be told over and over by those of the cowpunch ilk, holding court from his wheeled throne, brandishing stringed scepter, this poet's icon, this mentor to those of the clan, seeking to gather wild remnant words into holdups.
Ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, and heads all soaked with sweat. They're riding hard to catch that herd, but they ain't caught 'em yet.